On today's video, we're going to be looking at this. This is an alternative to your Nintendo Switch Pro controller. However, it is way more because it's got quite a few tricks up its sleeve. This is a Pro controller. So join me as we do a thorough review of this. This is the G4 Pro and it's from GameSir. Hello and welcome along, and I just want to do a little bit of admin before we get started. If you could do me a favour, if you could like and share this video, it would be hugely appreciated. What I'm trying to do is I'm going to be getting to 10,000 subscribers, and once I've hit that, I've got loads of accessories that I've done on the past on the channel that I'm going to be giving away. But I want to get to 10,000 subscribers first, so if you could do me a favour, like this video. If you're new around here, do subscribe, it'd help me out hugely. And share it about on all the social media. I would really, really appreciate it. Okay, admin out of the way. We're going to crack on now with the video. And we're going to be looking at this today. So this is the GameSir G4 Pro controller. Now, I've been using it for the Switch, but it's also got a couple of tricks up its sleeve. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go for an unboxing. So I've put it all back together. We're going to get it out and see what you get in the box. We're going to do look at the build quality as well to see what it feels like. We're going to look at all the buttons and the D-pad. Then we're going to go through a load of the features, and then we're going to connect it up to a couple of devices because there's a couple of things I want to show you in regards to the buttons and stuff. Okay, so here's the box itself. As on the front, as it says, the GameSir G4 Pro, and this is the interesting bit, okay? Because most of my controllers, if not all of my controllers I've had, don't do as many devices as this, okay? So it says it's for Android and iOS and the Switch and the PC, okay? So I'm interested in Android, iOS and Switch, and I'll tell you how you can connect it up to your PC as well. So not many controllers do that. Via Bluetooth 2.4 or wired. And then we have the magnetic A, B, X and Y, and I'll explain what it is later, and the 6-axis gyro. Okay, so we'll do that when we go through all of the features. So that's the front and a nice shiny picture of the controller. On the side, just read a bit of gumph about it, and then a few extra other features: the asymmetric motor, turbo key, screenshot key, and the battery as well. And then coming over here, a little bit more about it. Okay, so when you crack it open, what you are presented with is the controller itself, and then when you pop it out, there's really small things that you know this is a quality product. This really does feel like a good quality product. It's just the quality of this plastic just feels, I mean, it feels really thick and sturdy, so you know you're going to get it protected when it's in the box. Small things. And then a load of gumph here. Okay, so if you do want to get hold of this controller, go and have a look in the links below. I'll leave a link of where you can get it. Go and have a look for the latest price of what you can do. Because what you do, when you get it, you get the controller and you get all these bits here. So this is just a piece of gumph about it, just to say thank you for buying the product from GameSir. That's just a nice little touch. And then another little booklet with some bits in it about them. Then you also get some stickers. Always a sucker for some stickers, so you can put that anywhere you like. And then the instruction manual, perfect. Tells you all about it, how to use it. Couple of things I've seen in the instruction manual, it doesn't tell you on how to control this. I'll explain all that later in the video. And then we have a USB Type-C cable and this plastic bit, and I'll show you what this plastic bit does in a bit. I never open up my USB Type-Cs, my cables, because I have one here connected to power, so I always like to keep those neat, so they stay in the box. And I just use this one. Okay, so what we're going to do build quality. Now, for starters, this is a proper Pro controller. This feels beautiful in the hand. It's quite a hefty piece, so what we'll do is we'll get it weighed, and I've got a Pro controller to compare it to. So this is the regular Pro controller. Admittedly, I've stuck another skin on it and the LED buttons on it. 258 grams. 246. So it's roughly the same, but it's 12 grams heavier. Because most controllers, third-party controllers I've used, are lighter than the Pro controller. This one is heavier, so you know it's a bit of a beast. And it just feels nice. I do like a decent feeling hefty controller, as long as it's not too much, but it's really nice to feel in the hands. And it's predominantly plastic apart from a few areas. One of these areas is this. Can you see this here? This all the way around here is like a rubber, soft, textured material. It's lovely. So when it goes in the hand, your hand wraps around it, all your hand touches all of these bits in here. Oh, it's lovely. It just makes it feel really comfy, really grippy when you're in the gaming session. It's fantastic. And then also, as I said, it's all plastic, and these are aluminium as well, these triggers here. And they feel really nice to touch. And then plastic all around here, plastic all around here, plastic. So all in all, build quality is superb. I think this is fantastic, and I think this would last you for a hell of a long time, just because it just feels so rugged. Really nice. Okay, so let's move on then. Let's go on to the buttons and of course the D-pad. So let's start off with the D-pad. D-pads are a very personal preference. Some people like the round, some people just like the dots, some people just like a cross. For me, this is okay. I do have one problem, and probably the only problem with this controller is it's difficult to hit the corners on the D-pad. I don't know if you need that for any of the games that you play regularly. For me, it wasn't an issue. And I'm going to explain this later on when we connect it up to a phone, of how kind of it doesn't really register the corners very well. Everything else is nice. It feels it's a little bit clicky, but it's okay. It's just hitting those corner ones is a bit tricky. So that's the decision for you. Thumbsticks are asymmetrical, so there's one up and one down, and they feel great. It's kind of rubber coated on the top there with 4 grooves cut in for a bit of grip, and they feel nice and they ping back really nice. I haven't experienced drift at all with this controller since I've had it, and the clicking's good. There's good click in there. And then here we've got a G and an S, so it's a kind of a select and a start, or if you're using it on the Switch, that would be minus and that would be plus. They are quite flush and they're quite spongy, there's no click to them at all. This is the home button, and you press that with a combination of one of these buttons to connect to another device, and I'll show you that later. So this is a nice button. This is also an LED, so when you press it in, it will kind of try and connect to the last device it's tried to connect to. And as you can see, it's flashing red, which means it's trying to connect to a Nintendo Switch, which is the Switch is the last thing that I connected it to. And as you can see, it's gone there, it's connected to my Switch, which is over here. Now, here, this is one of the features, but I'm going to quickly show you this because I've got to flip it up for the buttons. When you flick this up, I'll explain what that is in a bit. There is a turbo and a screenshot button there. So screenshot for the Nintendo Switch and the turbo button there. So the turbo button works on the Switch as well. They are very flush, and if you need to get access to them when you're playing, every time you need to flip it up and press them. Depends how often you're going to be hitting turbo and screenshot. Up there as well is your LEDs. So you've got 4 there. That means the 2 there means I've got the battery for the 2. That's not the player, that's the amount of battery left. And then when you plug it in to charge, it flashes. Okay, so that's charging up to 75%. Okay, so we're on about 50% battery on this. And then moving over here, we have the X, Y, A and B. And I wanted to talk about these buttons here because they are brilliant, okay? So, when you get it, it isn't in this configuration. Actually, when you get it, X is there, that's Y, and that's A, and that's B. And whenever you use the controller for the functions of the controller, that will always be X, Y, A and B. So when you're connecting and it says hold down B, you need to press this button here, all right? Doesn't matter what you put on there, it will always be this button. This will always be registered as B. But when you're playing a game, it's whatever the switch is. This will be on the switch and this one A. But when you're registering, because it says over here, when you want to connect it, to connect to the switch, you press Y and home. Well, because I've got it in the switch configuration, Y, but that's not it. You have to press that one and home. Does that make sense? Because if you can see in here, you can flick these buttons off and move them around. So when you get it, it'll be like that. A and B will be like that. But when I was using it for the switch, obviously, A is this one and B is this one. So you just flick, change them out like that. It saves you having to remember, and I think it's a genius idea. So if you're using it on iOS or an Android and you want to swap them around, you change the A and the B on there and the X and the Y. The A, the X and the Y don't fit on those, so you can only put the X and the Y on there, and you can only put the A and the B on there. But it's a really nice feature so you don't get confused. But like I say, when you're doing this, so again, for example, if you want to connect it to Android, you need to press A and home. You're not going to be pressing that and home, you're going to be pressing that one as home, because this controller thinks that that is the A button. Okay, but when you connect them to the switch, A and B. Really nice. Okay, then going on to triggers. I've talked about these a little bit, but these are fantastic. These feel really good. So you've got a nice analog trigger and then a digital on there. Can you hear the click on that? It's a really nice, satisfying click. And as I said, it really does remind me, I don't know if you know of the Elite controller. So I've got an Elite 2 here, an Xbox Elite 2. Very similar indeed. It really does remind me of this controller. And then, as we said before, USB Type-C in there. Okay, so that's all the buttons over with. Now we're going to go through a few of the features. A couple I've even shown you already. The main one is this. Okay, so this is your phone holder. So it has a couple of positions. So when you get your phone, you plonk it in there, and you can either have it there or there. So it's kind of more upright or more sat back. It doesn't go any further, and it doesn't go. Well, it does, but it'll just try and close. So you've got two static positions there and there. Okay, and this bit is for the top of here. So it's if you have a kind of like, I guess, a larger device that you need, that clips on the top there. It just gives it a bit more grip. So if you've got anything that's wider there, but for me, that's fine. And it sits in there. It sits in there really nicely. There's a decent amount of clamp, and there's rubber there, and there's rubber there to protect your phone. And I've got a trusty tape measure here. So it's the gap with it closed is up around 4.5 centimeters, and then if we can go fully wide, it goes up to 8 centimeters. So if you've got a phone that's 8 centimeters wide, it will fit in. Anything more than 8 centimeters, you're looking at tablet size, it won't fit in. And if you're going to be resting on there, it plonks over. If you've got it up like that, it doesn't. And for this, the battery takes around 3 to 4 hours to charge, I'd say. You're going to get a whopping 20 hours of play out of it. Another one of the features, as we've said, is the turbo button. So you activate turbo if you don't know it already. So if you've got jump, for example, on B, and you hit jump, 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 if you hold it down, you're only going to jump once. If you hold it down and press turbo, all you need to do is hold down that B and it will keep pressing B for you. I will explain that when we go and connect it to the switch. I've got Mario lined up and I can explain how you do that. And also, when I'm saying, as we said earlier, in the instruction manual, it doesn't tell you how to cancel turbo, but I've worked it out so I can explain that to you. And as we've said before, what it does, it connects to, we can have Android, we have X input, iOS and switch, so we can connect this to the PC if we need to. And the way you do that is a well hidden dongle in there. So there we go. There's your USB dongle. You stick that in your PC and you can connect to it wirelessly. Or if you want to, you can connect it to wired, but you do have the option, and it's really nice that it just fits in there out of the way. Also, as we've said, it has turbo. It also has rumble, which is for the PC and the Switch only. Now, I found the rumble to be a bit soft, if I'm honest. When I was playing Mario with another controller, the rumble was hitting me hard. This was a little bit softer. This was a little bit more delicate on the rumble, but it has rumble in both sides. And yeah, it felt okay. It wasn't going to be anything like the HD rumble or anything like that, but it was good enough. And it also has gyro as well. So as it says in the box there with the gyro 6-axis, that is for the Switch only. So it'll only be for the Switch. It doesn't have NFC, so you're not going to be able to do your amiibo. And I haven't found a way of waking up the Switch with it either. So if you need something that's going to be waking up your Nintendo Switch, I haven't found a way of doing this yet. With other controllers, it kind of was really temperamental about doing it. So it might have been that I haven't been able to do it. But certainly I haven't been in my testing. I haven't been able to. Okay, so far, really enjoying this. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to go over and we're going to connect this to a phone because I wanted to explain the bits about the D-pad. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to be connecting this to my phone now. I'm going to be connecting it to an iPhone, so we know on the back here it's purple, B and home for iOS. If you're going to be connecting this to Android, you need to be doing A and home, and it'll be flashing blue. So we know that this controller thinks that that's A and home. You press that and it will flash, connect it to your Android. For iOS, it's B and home, so that one and home, and it'll be flashing purple. And then when it flashes purple, it comes up on your Bluetooth device as an Xbox wireless controller. So that's just the way it is. So in your Bluetooth device, you'll see that it has Xbox wireless controller. So there's an app that I want to show you on my phone. Let's ping it up. Okay, here it is. It's ad-filled app, so no doubt it will have ads on at some point. So here we go. Here's the left stick. Seems really good, really nice and sensitive, as you can see. All really good. And then L1, L2, R2. Feels really good. And there's the other stick going all the way around. Good. And now, what I just want to show you was about the D-pad as well. Okay, so when I was trying to hit the corner, that's not too bad, is it? But every so often, you hit kind of up. Okay, so it's a little bit difficult, but that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. So like I was saying before, if hitting the corner of your D-pad is priority for you, it's a little bit tricky, whereas up and down, you're not going to hit any problems really. Left and right, no problems. But it's just the corners are a little bit tricky and you're going to be hitting up, down, left and right a little bit. Okay, so here's a little bit of gameplay. So this is pathless. Just feels really good. It's sensitive enough. It registers all the buttons when I should be pressing. Yeah, it feels good. It just feels like a really nice controller. I think if you're going to be wanting a controller for iPhone or for Android as well, it just feels great, and it's so easy to connect. Like I'm saying, it hit the button and home and you're done. Okay, so that's enough of that. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to be moving on and we're going to be connecting it to the Nintendo Switch. Okay, here we are, and now we're going to be connecting this to the Nintendo Switch. I've currently got this one connected, and I'll tell you what you need to do is you need to go down to the bottom there to controllers, select that, and then change grip order. It will disconnect this. So now we need to be on this screen, and we're going to be connecting this. So as we know, for the Switch, it's Y and home, so it's that one and home, and it will flash red. It will flash really fast red when it's pairing, and then once you've paired it, or it's looking to pair, it will flash slowly. So when I've already paired it to my Switch before, so it remembers it, so it will flash slowly. But if you're doing this from fresh, it will flash quickly. So Y and home, until it starts flashing red, which it does do. And now we know that it's looking for, the switch is looking for this controller. There we go, and we're all connected. Away we go. Okay, right, so while we're here, we're going to jump into Mario Odyssey, and quick run out, because there's something I wanted to show you on here, was the turbo feature. Okay, so at the moment, if I press jump, which is B, and hold it down, I just jump once. Okay, with the turbo button, what you do is you hold that down, you then press turbo, and it does all the jumps for you. Okay, hold it down and it just does jumping for you. Okay, so however you want to use this, I've just using this because the Mario jump, just because I can easily show you on the screen of what's happening. You can do that on any of these face buttons here. Then, when you want to cancel it, what you do is you hold down B and you double tap the turbo, okay? Doesn't tell you that in the manual, so we do double tap and then it turns it off. Okay, so for example, if you're going to be fighting games and you want this to throw out a lot and you want to do it by holding it out without actually doing anything, hold that down, press your turbo button and it does it for you all the time. Double tap and it stops. Okay, so that's the feature on the turbo. It just feels like a really nice controller to play with. Okay, there we go. And for the rumble as well, let's go on here. So I'm going to jump into this pit here, and we'll have a look on here. You see the rumble. Can you see that rumbling? Really nice rumble. Like I said, it's not the most powerful as the other ones, but it feels decent. It feels like a nice deep rumble. So that was my look at the GameSir G4 Pro. I'm really pleased with this. And the fact that I can connect it to my phone, I can connect it to the Switch in one controller, because I do use Apple Arcade a bit. And if you've got an Android phone, you could be using this on the Android as well as the Switch as well. I think it's fantastic, and it also works for the PC. I think it's an all-in-one tool. I think it's really good. Not many controllers have that, if any, and I certainly haven't reviewed any on the channel that do phones and the Switch. Okay, so if you've got any questions, do leave them below. I'll happily answer them for you. And as I said at the beginning, trying to push for 10,000 subs. It would really appreciate it if you could share this video around, or any of my other videos. It would be a huge help to a humble Englishman. Okay, that's everything then. I've been Console and Tech Accessories. Please do thumbs up, please do subscribe, and until the next video, bye bye.